Hey guys, it's Bina, and in today's video, I want to go over my, it's going to be like a build update, like a build diary about my Lightning Blast Runemaster, which I plan on taking on Aberroth with. So I'll go over like just one quick, one portion of a map here, just to show how it plays. But you've probably already seen this build in my previous build guides video as well. But it's basically just pressing Lightning Blast, killing lots of monsters on the screen, and then, yeah, that's pretty much the entire playstyle of it. We are in hardcore at 345 corruption here. I am planning on upgrading this corruption up to 500 and then just comfortably farm 500 corruption from there. The reason why I did not go higher in corruption at the start here was because, yeah, so that's pretty much how the build plays. Was because I did not have my crit avoidance capped, but now that I have my crit avoidance capped at 101%, and I do this with my idols here, so I got, man, I rerolled these idols quite a bit, and they are actually bad idols, but these are the best ones that I found so far. I haven't farmed for my idols yet. I got 12% crit avoidance here and 11% crit avoidance here, so only tier 6, not tier 7 enchants. Alongside my perfect blessing of 70%, that makes me able to like get a up to the cap of crit avoidance, and I can now increase the corruption without worrying too much about crits. So that covers why I am only in this corruption. And now I'm just going to finish up the, the woven echoes that I set up before increasing the corruption on this timeline to 500. So this is what my gear looks like at this moment. I have a prismatic gaze, 4% critical strike chance with +4 lightning blast. That was prior to getting a +2 nihilist. So right now I would be looking for a prismatic gaze with tier 7 int and +2 to lightning blast only, because I have enough points to play with this skill tree, even with 2 points missing. So that's going to cover that prismatic gaze. My nihilist is really good. I farmed quite a few of those Aberroths. So nihilist is +2 to all skills. I slammed a perfect critical strike multiplier on it with high mana regen, high armor, high resistances, and it also has 6% health, 5 mana, and 2 movement speed. So we do not have anything negative on this nihilist. We do have quite a high roll of current health and ward loss when you use evade, but we try to not use evade as much as possible on this build. Next up, I have my Mantle to Pale Ox with a tier 7 crit multi and tier 6 intelligence. I think I'm just gonna keep this one. Like, I could go for tier 7 int and tier 6 crit multi instead. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this one is good enough. Only 19% damage redirected to your highest health minion. That I would like to get to 24%, so maybe I will re-roll it actually. Then we have my Mad Alchemist Ladle. The only reason I'm running this Mad Alchemist Ladle with crit multi and increased spell crit chance is because I needed to get the 100% spell crit chance at the moment. But eventually, once I get all of my proper gear, my proper enchants on here, and then maybe some extra int on my red rings, for example, I will surely use one of my 3 LPs. So I still have like 2 other 3 LPs that I have yet to slam, and I have some 3 LPs that I did slam already. But we'll see what I use. But for now, I want to use my spell critical strike chance with the crit multi to get my spell critical strike chance to 100. On this build, you can trust your spell critical strike chance here, especially because on the sorcerer tree here, the calculated destruction node that gives you increased spell crit chance per int is calculated in here on your character sheet. So if you reach 100 here, that means that you are at 100% on your spell crit chance. So afterwards, we go to Fragment of the Enigma. My Fragment of the Enigma has tier 7 crit strike multiplier and tier 5 void res. This helps me with my idol slots, so that's going to be very, very good to just to help me use a proper idol setup. Ideally, I would want to have spell damage on here instead of the necrotic res. And a 3 LP fragment is pretty easy to get. You don't care too much. Like the role that you would care most about on your fragment would be like the intelligence role, maybe. Like, you do care about the spark charge on hit. You do care a little bit about a spark charge explosion area, but it's not that big of a deal, even if you have like a very low spark charge explosion area, which I have here, because that doesn't affect single target at all. So that is it for my fragment. On my Orion's Descent, I do have quite a few belts for Orion's Descent. I have quite a bit more 2 LPs. These are very easily to obtain. And I believe I had some 3 LP. Okay, this one is a 3 LP. This one is a 2 LP. Anyways, The one that I'm using right now is a tier 7 mana regen and tier 5 increased health. The reason I'm going for mana regen at tier 7 is to have like a good time, not having to use too many potions when I am mapping, when I'm using all of my skills, right? But if you do run out of mana on this build, you just pop a potion, boom, boom, you're full mana. So that covers Orion's Descent. I'm trying to get some other red rings with 1 LP. I did die on my other character with my red rings that had LP, that had the proper rolls and everything. So I need to get, yet again, some more red rings. I did get, I think, 3 red rings today. So yeah, you can farm multiple red rings per day, and it is no big deal. I know it can be somewhat of a pain to get LP on them when you are putting them into the Nemesis egg, but you know, eventually you do get them, and you will be able to slam that tier 7 intelligence on it. And then use, you know, if you don't have a very good roll of a red ring, you can use your other red rings that you bricked to re-roll the red rings that you actually want to put your stats on them to get a perfect all-res roll on it, and a perfect all attributes, and move-in speed, and all these other things, right? So, depending on what you want, the rolls that I would prioritize, it kind of depends on your setup. Maybe all res, all attributes is really nice. Movement speed is not to be underestimated either. Overall, try to get the best one overall that you can. My Foot in the Mountain is excellent, double tier 7. I have been farming quite a few tier 7 today with the Weaver tree. So I've been farming, right now I'm farming for a double tier 7 wand. I've been farming for some pretty nice relics. You can find easily double tier 7s as soon as you have one already. So what I do is I have a dump tab, well, not a dump tab, but like a imprint tab, which contains all of my like double tier 7 or triple exalts and stuff like that, which I want to imprint to be able to find more of them, right? So yeah, imprints still very, very powerful. I'm trying to farm my my wand to get a better Malachimous Ladle as well with double tier 7. But yeah, my boots are pretty insane. They have 11 all attributes. They have also 26 movement speed and 15 int, which is very high. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with these. Tier 7 int, tier 6 hybrid health on my Grassed Blood Mage. Technically, you could also go for armor shred, which would make you shred, like get some better armor shred, especially better for mapping, getting some armor shred Blood Mage, since you'll stack your armor shred stacks way faster on single target. But for Uber Aberroth, for example, you don't really need it if you have a higher roll on your Mad Alchemist Ladle, which rolls up to 48%. So that's going to enable you to get very close to the maximum amount of a multiplier that you can get from Armor Shred, which again, Armor Shred is good for any hit build. Twisted Heart of Eukaros. Oh, very important to get a 4% spell crit on this one. Twisted Heart, I have a tier 7 int. I had a 2 LP. I tried to slam tier 7 int and tier 7 crit multi. I did not get it. I got the tier 2 health, so I am stuck with this one. I have quite a few other ones. I'm trying to get another 2 LP of this, so ideally that's what I'm going to go for. My idols, as I said, are pretty bad. Here I basically just have the cast speed. Basically just have the cast speed on this one. Only the increased lightning damage with lightning aegis. And the same thing for this one. Although the crit avoidance here that you get is pretty important. The rest of my idols are just fixing my res. Giving me a little bit of vitality, which is also res and flat health. But yeah, and some crit avoidance to cap my crit avoidance. The other one is fixing my cold res. As for my blessings, I still have not farmed my crit multi-blessing. This one, you don't really need a very high roll on it to be applied at all times. This is your most important blessing that you want to farm at a perfect 70% crit avoidance. That's going to make it much easier to get some idols that will cap your crit avoidance, especially if you have like a double tier 7. And then you go for armor. I still haven't farmed any of these. As for my passive, I am working towards... Oh, I can actually change this. This is something that I've changed from my previous... If you look at my build guide, I do not have mental catalysis, but before you obtain 100% crit avoidance, I do put these points in here rather than in here because I'm playing hardcore. So I still get... I get some part of the crit avoidance, and some part, if I get crit, I get less damage from the crit. So that just makes it a little bit safer. The remainder of my points are going to go here for the 4 points to get the more damage based on your current ward. Even though this one does not work at the moment, it still gives you ward gain on crit. And eventually, well, we hope that this gets fixed and we get the 20% multiplier from that node, that makes it, that will make it so that the build will have just 20% more damage overall. So for the rest, that's pretty much all that is happening here. I am planning on doing this character, leveling this up to 100. And then if I'm satisfied with my items, I will go attempt Uber Aberroth in hardcore for my, that would be my second build that I bring up to Uber Aberroth in hardcore. Don't get fooled by my resistances here. Like if I do teleport, you have all your res for a pretty long time, even when teleport is off cooldown. So long as you use teleport once in a while, these can help cap your resistances and give you more armor on, you know, pretty reliably. So that is pretty much it. Very cool build. I'm having lots of fun still, and yeah. Hopefully next video is going to be an Uber Aberroth kill. So see you guys all in a